In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint not one, not two, but 3 complete schemes for the new Emperor's Children. So if you're excited for the launch of this new army and you're unsure how to paint it, maybe this is the video for you. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get started with the first of the 3 schemes. Now this one can represent the new kind of standard box art color scheme if you so wish. I use a lot more pink, but you can substitute some of the panels out for the kind of black sections and then it'll work absolutely beautifully. I'm not a huge fan of the kind of pink and black scheme, even though there is quite a lot of black in this because there's separation of the Emperor's Children plates. Is quite big, which means there's a lot of that kind of soft seal stuff, and it does look really good and I really like it. You could also say that the 3 schemes that I've given here in this video are kind of 3 different levels of difficulty. They start at the most difficult with this pink one, the purple one is the kind of mid-tint one, and then the metallic one at the end is incredibly easy and fast to do. So if you're just out there looking for a simple scheme to get your army painted, then maybe this is a great way for you to do it. So as you'd see, I've already thrown the pink contrast across the armor panels, and then I've gone in with Black Templar for, like I said, all of that soft seal stuff. I've gone for the kind of close combat orientated miniatures because they are much more open posed, easier to paint up and easier to demonstrate the color scheme for you guys as I'm going through. I'm being a little bit more careful here, trying to find all those different areas that need to be black. I've also gone for like the top knot plumy bits they've done as well. We're going to take our time now and we're going to go in with some Retributor Armor Gold and find all the trim that exists across this model and get it done in gold. Now, these particular tutorials are not what I would say complete, and by that I mean all I'm trying to show you is how to paint the actual armor. How you paint your bolt pistol, how you paint your sword, how you paint your eye lenses, that's up to you. Whatever kind of scheme or whatever kind of way you want to do that, feel free to do it that way. If I had to paint every single little detail for 3 different schemes in one video, the video would be 40 minutes to an hour long, and that's nobody wants to sit there and watch me paint for that long, I think. Okay, with the trim all done, it's time for the shade that I went for, which was Reikland Flesh Shade. And this was actually quite a difficult thing. I sat here for quite a while figuring out what would be the correct shade to put across pink, because of course Games Workshop does not have a pink shade. Got a bunch of pink contrasts, but nothing that's I would call a shade, which is kind of upsetting. But I thought Reikland Flesh Shade being a skin tone, which means it has kind of pink and warm hues to it, it's going to look really good over the gold, and it is going to kind of tint the pink really nicely. I think it did a great job. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think it worked? Would you have thought about using Reikland Flesh Shade? And then I'm going to jump over to the Two Thin Coats triad of pinks to make this scheme pop. Now, of course, if you are a Games Workshop purist when it comes to paints, and that's fine, the majority of the time I stick with the one color as well, but there's certain ones that I don't get along with. But there is a kind of conversion chart on the Two Thin Coats website, which shows you what paints represent the Games Workshop paints and what paints represent the Army Painter paints. So if you only have Games Workshop paints, you can of course look that up and swap it around. I just find the Two Thin Coats range of paints genuinely fantastic, so I'm going to use them for this particular stage so that I can get the kind of pink that I want to on this model. The 3 Two Thin Coats range of pinks that I am of course using, so I did only show them on the screen very briefly, was of course Persher Pink, Hot Pink, and Neo Pink. Those 3 pinks going up in steps is what gave me the result that I'm after. So I'm at Hot Pink now, applying that kind of mid-tone. And as you can see, each time I go up in the paint, I'm going to apply it into less and less the surface of the miniature so that I can build up that tone and really make it pop. I've already done the Lord miniature for this box set, and I did it as the purple and gold scheme that you're going to see in a moment. And that's what I figured I wanted to paint my Emperor's Children as. That's why I did it for my Lord. And I talked about it in the video that that's the one that I wanted to do. But after completing this particular Emperor's Children model in this pink scheme, I fell in love. It is quite a bit of work. It does take a little bit of time because we are going up so many different layers with the armor. But the final result I think is beautiful. And I would love to paint up some more of these if I can carve out some time. I think I may start with a kill team first. I'll paint them up in this scheme, and then if I am inclined to paint more after that, then maybe I'll get the rest of this box set done in this scheme because I do really like it, and then we'll kind of take it from there. Here I am, of course, going in with the final highlight, which is the Neo Pink, and as you can see, that is quite bright and vibrant. It's really making that pink pop, but we are applying it very sparingly so that we can hit those areas. And just, it's just so clean. It's actually quite a lot of fun to do. I don't know about you, but I actually like the layering step of painting, especially when it's going well. So I find that process to be really enjoyable. Even though it does take a little bit of time, I think it's worth it. This blank shoulder pad as well, which exists on all of them. I feel like I should have put one of the transfers on it. I didn't bother doing it for these tutorials. I'm not quite sure what would be on the right shoulder pad of an Emperor's Children model. They do give you a new transfer sheet in the box. I should have done some research, looked into it, and got it kind of picked out because I think that would have made a huge difference. I actually got pretty much the rest of this model painted up on my Twitch stream. I was showing it off on my Thursday Twitch stream. And I painted up the sword and the bolt pistol and got the model base and stuff so that I could show you a finished model at the end. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you want to check out my Twitch streams, I do stream every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Irish times. It's kind of like an accountability stream. It's for people to show up for 2 set times of the week and get 2 hours of painting done. So you are guaranteed a minimum of 4 hours of hobby a week, which I think is a really good way of motivating people to stick around and do it. We have good chats, we talk about nonsense and hobby and all sorts of other things. It's a really nice little community and it is very welcoming, so if you feel like you've got no one to hang out to, chat to while you're doing your hobby, please do check out those streams. Okay, this is the first model fully done, fully finished, and this is what I fell in love with. I love this scheme. I think it's so striking, and I think it's the one that I'm gonna, like I said, push forward and get the rest of my models painted like. We are, of course, going to jump into the second of 3 schemes that I want to show you in this set of videos, or in this video. I do have a bunch of nice high-res images of the finished models done up, and they will be all shown off at the end of this video. So if you want to check those out, you're going to have to be patient for another 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, so this second scheme is the one we are going to be doing, that like rich purple and gold that I've already used for the Lord. So it starts with Luxion Purple Contrast, and we're going to apply this to all of the armor panels of this awesome model. Obviously, I'm going to take my time, once again, try and find all the correct armor panels that exist on this model and get them done with this beautiful purple color. This is, like I said, a really nice scheme. It was what I had in my head originally. A lot of people left comments on the Lord video saying that this is the scheme that they were looking for. And this appeals to them a lot more than the scheme that Games Workshop chose for the box art and the codex art. Not a big fan of that scheme myself, the like divided pink and black scheme. But it is only after I kind of complained about it that somebody pointed out that it is the Emperor's Children scheme where they have joined the Black Legion. That's why it's like half pink and half black. That makes a lot of sense to me. That's why Games Workshop went for it as like the kind of promo scheme, because obviously the Black Legion are doing lots of work these days. They're a big part of the story, so having them match in with those makes a lot of sense. So I'm here for it. It's cool. It's just not for me. I prefer either the pink scheme before this or this rich purple scheme, which kind of harkens back to the Heresy era scheme for them. I think it looks really, really cool. Obviously with the purple and black in place, it is of course time to go in with the, of course, longest step of painting these Emperor Children, or pretty much any Chaos miniatures, which is back in with the Retributor Armor Gold and finding all that beautiful trim and getting it base coated in with that. One of the things I'm very much enjoying with painting up these models is having the fun with the shades and picking a shade that really is complementing all the different colors that we used for base coats. Instead of just going for something like a black or a brown or something like that, we are playing around with lots of purples. And that really is, I think, giving the edge to these models. Looking really sweet. Okay, with all the gold applied, we are just going to quickly throw in the lead belcher as well. We're going to do this for the blades, the jar canister, the Yeti flask that he has at his hip here. That I don't know what that exists for. It's probably some sort of crazy, poisonous, toxic drink thing, or could be a fruity cocktail on Emperor Children. Who knows? But I'm decided to paint that in silver as well. With that done, that is of course all the base coats, and we are then of course going to shade the miniature down. And with that, we are going to once again lean on and grab our purple shade, our Druchii Violet shade, to shade down this entire model. This is of course going to work wonders for all of the purple parts, but it also adds a beautiful hue to all of the gold and silver parts. And it does nothing bad at all for all the black parts either. It works perfectly as a shade for this. I also like being quite light with the highlights on the silver and the gold after this, because I like that kind of purple tinge showing through and looking awesome. We did some experiments on stream the other day where I tried to add in like purple shades and glazes into a metallic paint to see if I get a slightly more purple tinted silver for layering. It just separated all the pigments. It did not work at all. I know, it was kind of annoying. If you are enjoying these videos and you would like to help me out in a very small way, the best way for you to do that is to give this video a like, ask me a question or comment down below, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Those three things costs you absolutely nothing, but it makes a huge difference as to how many people see these videos and how quickly the channel grows, which would make a huge difference to me. So if you could be bothered doing that, please do. If you want to help support the channel even further and be even more awesome, then of course check out things like the Patreon and the channel membership linked down below. With that, you get access to a private Discord server where you can hang out with me on a daily basis, talk about your hobby. Also get involved in all the different events that we host over there, whether that be painting competitions or monthly showcases. And of course, you get an extra video every single week just for being a Patreon channel member as well. So if that sounds like something that interests you, like I said, it is linked down below. So please do check that out. Okay, I'm in with the Gene Stealer Purple, layering up the armor. I did consider going up one step again and making it pop even more, but I did really want the kind of more complicated scheme with the pink, then like the kind of medium scheme with the purple, and then the really easy scheme with the metallics. So that's up to you. You can obviously push this purple a little bit further if you so wish. It does push it into more of a lilac scheme if you want to. I did look it up, and I think it is the lilac layer paint that should be the next in line, but decided to leave it like this. I do like the richness of the purple, so I didn't want to mess with it too much. We're of course going back in with that bright gold to highlight all of it, and then Iron Breaker of course to highlight all the metallic parts, the blades, the beautiful little Yeti flask that he has on his hip, and any other sections of the model that you can see there. I have also decided to base all of my Emperor's Children models with snow texture over gray. I like that kind of perfection style, almost like, you know, like a samurai with that like perfect stroke and the drop of blood on the snow. That's the kind of thing that kind of gets me with the Emperor's Children. They're all about that perfection. So it's also a really nice contrast to the bright purple and gold. The snow, I think it really worked with the pink, and it does work with the metallic stuff as well. Okay, that is 2 of the 3 schemes down. We've done the difficult one, we've done the medium one, and now it's time for the extremely easy one. So for the next one, I sprayed the model black, and then I sprayed it with Retributor Armor Gold. It kind of left a little bit of a flat tone with the gold, so I did grab Retributor Armor in the pot as well, and a big flat dry brush, and I basically dry brushed it back over with the gold. And you can see the difference, that kind of smoky, dull gold you got before, and then once I dry brushed the Retributor on, it really did make it pop and bring it back to the tone that I wanted to start this miniature with. So I was happy I took the time and bothered to do that. After that, we grabbed our Black Templar contrast again, and once again did those segmented parts of the plate, all that soft seal stuff, which really does help break up the quantity of gold that does exist. I always feel like when a model is too much of one color, it just kind of drains it out of you. It's not exciting to me. It doesn't make, like, the gold isn't special if it's just gold. It has to have something to contrast it. So that's why I love these kind of the gaps in Space Marine armor where you can just add in a bit of black and help break it all up. So of course, being careful, because we're not going to be doing a hell of a lot more with the gold apart from a shade and a very quick layer. So when you're applying these black sections, you do want to take your time and be careful. Now, I didn't know what the trim was in these guys at this point, so I looked it up. Obviously, it's supposed to be silver trim for these, which is very interesting. So I grabbed my base coat lead belcher, and I started to base coat in all of the trim across these models. Of course, the Emperor's Children symbol on the left-hand shoulder pad, I was kind of bamboozled because it's supposed to be gold. But I think gold symbol on a gold armor would be a bit too much. So I decided to do it in silver as well. If that's wrong, someone can let me know. But I think it did work. This, of course, did only take a couple of minutes to do. Silver over gold goes on quite quickly and quite smoothly. It's not a lot of work to do, so that was really nice. Your eye is being thrown off at this point because there's too much metallic. The base is really throwing it off. So once that gets kind of cleaned up with some texture paste in a minute, the gold will look a little bit better, I promise. Luxion Purple was then brought in for the cabling on these guys. This particular scheme for Emperor's Children, which I didn't make this up, this is in the codex, it's a real scheme, But all of the kind of piping and stuff like that, and on some of the kind of more ornate models, there's a lot more piping, so a lot more of this purple should be appearing on the model. With these basic miniatures, there's not a lot, so I just did it on the bit of pipe that runs around their ribs. It doesn't stand out an awful lot, unfortunately, but it is the correct scheme, so we're going to go with it. With all the silver done, the black in place, and the purple done, of course, it is time to shade this miniature. For this, we are, of course, going to lead back in and grab our Druchii Violet once again, because this will, like I said before, shade all these sections down really, really nice. It's going to add that slight purple tint to all of the armor. And considering that this is an Emperor's Children scheme, which is silver and gold, I feel like that kind of clan color, that god color, needs to be evident somewhere, even if it's just very subtly built into the armor color itself. Purple over gold has always looked really good, really clean. Obviously the bright lights above my camera are reflecting off the metallic scheme, which makes it kind of hard to film, but we shall make do. You can see the huge difference that it made now, just getting the base kind of detailed up there. It separates the quantity of metallics done. Now we're going to go in very carefully with our highlight for the gold. And we're just going to very carefully, but very quickly highlight this, because you're not looking for the same kind of really clean highlight you did with the purple or the pink earlier on. This is very quick and very sloppy. So you'd layer this entire guy up in maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Which is going to make all the difference, of course, with painting up this scheme. Like if you were taking the 33 models that come in that starter box set, that army box set, okay? If you were to do them in the pink scheme and you told me to paint it up, I would say give me a couple of weeks to do it, honestly. Like 2 or 3 weeks of evening painting to get that done. The purple scheme, I reckon I could do it in maybe 3 or 4 days. The metallic scheme, I think I could sit down in a single day and knock out 33 models in this scheme with this. So that's the kind of difference that we're talking about, not just in ease of painting, but also in the speed of painting between these 3 schemes. And for some people that makes a huge difference, because obviously they're not like overly drawn to the aesthetic. Maybe they just like the rules more. They just want to run an army of Emperor's Children, but they're not too fussed about painting them. Then this scheme is for you. Obviously adding in that snow effect on the base once again helps to elevate this scheme and give us our third and finished beautiful Emperor's Children scheme. Here's a couple of those high-res images that I talked about to give you guys an example of what these might look like on the tabletop. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I would love to know in the comments below what your thoughts are on all 3 schemes. Do you love them all? Is there any one that you dislike? Is there any steps you think I missed I should add in? Or any other scheme that you would like to see? Please do let me know what your thoughts are down below. I had a lot of fun painting up these 3 miniatures. I will of course be doing a Noise Marine to finish off that box set probably sometime next week. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that.